Welcome to African Food Industry, your monthly guide to African food standards, compliance, and industry insight. I'm your host, Giovanni, and this is our first edition. Today, we are tackling a question that costs African producers millions every year. Why do quality products get rejected at the borders? We will break down the real cost of certification, meeting innovation cutting payment times from 90 days to 1 minute, and share practical resources you can use immediately. Let's dive in. The border rejection crisis. Picture this: a truck loaded with mangoes sits at the EU border for 3 days. Inspectors reject the entire shipment. Pesticide residues exceed limits by just 0.02 parts per million. 6 months of work, $15,000 gone. This happens daily across Africa. Between 2008 and 2013, over 1,100 African food shipments were rejected at the EU borders. For fish products, the rejection rate hit 40.6%. In Nigeria, 76% of agricultural exports to the EU failed to meet required standards. The top three killers: pesticide residues exceeding limits, labeling violations, and microbial contamination. Each preventable, each devastating. The financial impact goes beyond the rejected shipment. There is the direct cost: product value, transport, insurance, then indirect damage, reputation lost, cancelled contracts, banks refusing credits. The opportunity cost hurts most. While compliant products enter premium markets at $3 per kilo, yours sell locally for 50 cents or even less. Take a seasoned cooperative in Burkina Faso. 250 farmers, annual revenue of $45,000, lost nearly 20%, $8,500 to one rejected shipment. That's school fees for 50 children, medicine for families, and seeds for the next season. The cruel irony? The information exists, standards are published, but they're scattered across regulatory websites in technical language. That's what we are tackling in this newsletter. Now is the word of the month section. We will define what compliance means. Let's clarify it. Compliance means that your product meets all safety, quality, and labeling rules required for your target market. As simple as that. In practice, imagine you are exporting hibiscus from Mali to Germany. Compliance means checking against African market regulation, Codex standards for international requirements, European Union regulations, plus specific pesticide limits, packaging requirements, and more. Think of compliance as your product's passport. Without it, your goods can't cross the borders, regardless of the quality. Industry Pulse Time. Let me share 5 critical developments from October to December 2025. First of all, Sub-Saharan Africa's food imports will reach 65 billions, I said billions, dollars by year end, a 4% increase. Cereals alone account for 22 billion. This growing dependency highlights the urgent need to boost domestic production. Second, Algeria created a National Scientific Council for Food Security, aiming to cut the $10 billion annual import bill through biotechnology. In precision agriculture, other African nations are watching closely. Third, West African cocoa prices fell 6% in November, as production rebounds up to 5% in Cote d'Ivoire and 34% in Ghana. This volatility shows the region's vulnerability to weather patterns. Fourth, the Poultry Futures Forum addressed feed costs. 70% of production expenses. AGRA launched the Poultry Feed Accelerator Challenge to support innovations. Poultry represents one of Africa's fastest growing job creators. Fifth, the World Bank. AFDB and IFAD launched AgriConnect in October. The AICCRA project has reached 3 million African farmers with climate smart tools. In Mali, farmers using Rice Advice, which is a tool, achieved nearly 1 ton per hectare, higher yield, and $320 for more income. Now let's examine the real cost of traditional certification. For most African small and medium enterprises, international certification isn't just difficult, it's financially impossible. Not because products lack quality, but because the system was designed for large corporations in wealthy countries. Remember the context. The journey takes 6 to 18 months with multiple stages. Month 1 to 2, gap analysis. 2 to 4, documentation. 3 to 5, staff training. 4 to 8, laboratory testing. 6 to 12, facility upgrades. From month 1 to 12, consultant support. $2,000 to $4,000, handholding through the entire process, and 12 to 18 certification audit, $1,500 to $3,000, auditor fees plus travel and accommodation, and so on. Ongoing annual renewal. Remember, this is only for 1 year. $2,000 to $5,000, surveillance audits and retesting. This never ends. So for the total year 1, so the first time that you will do your certification, $10,300 to $24,000. You can have more details on the LinkedIn post. You will find the link below. Let that sink in. Research shows that West African food processing businesses typically earn $3,000 to $8,000 annual profit, which means the certification costs represent 129 to 800% of annual profit. A micro enterprise earning $5,000 annually cannot afford $15,000 certification. The math simply doesn't work. 3 quick examples. A seasoned cooperative in Burkina Faso earning $45,000 annually spent $8,519, which represents 19% of revenue on certification. They took a 2-year loan at 15% interest. Another one, a Kenyan vegetable processor earning $22,000 used 82% of annual profit. $18,000 for certification. The owner said, without certification, no export market. With certification, market access is guaranteed, but barely surviving. Another one, a Ghanaian fish exporter quoted $14,500 for FSSC 22,000. Couldn't afford it. They lost an $80,000 annual export contract and now sell domestically at 40% lower prices. The opportunity cost is staggering. If certification were accessible, African agricultural exports could triple within 5 years. There is some progress. The EU's 2022 organic regulation introduced group certification, reducing the cost per farmers from $2,000 individually to $200 to $400 in a group. But challenges remain: administrative burden, collective risk if one member fails, everyone will take the burden, and still requiring $20,000 upfront for 100 farmer cooperative. Emerging alternatives including phased certification programs costing $2,000 to $5,000 versus $15,000 plus for immediate full certification. Government subsidies covering 30 to 50% in Kenya, Rwanda, and Senegal. Buyer-supported pre-financing, and digital pre-screening platform like Fullscan. Still in development, providing preliminary compliance checking at 100 cost. The solution isn't lowering standards. It's democratizing access to compliance. Innovation spotlight time. Let's meet an innovation transforming smallholder farming economics. The problem is Kenyan farmers wait 90 days for payment on coffee, tea, or dairy deliveries. 3 months without income. No seeds, no school fees, no healthcare. Banks reject 96% of loan applications, no documented production history. Founded in 2017 by George Minor, Shamba Record uses blockchain, AI, and mobile connectivity to solve this issue. Here's how it works. Here is how it works. When farmers deliver produce, the platform captures real-time data like quantity, quality, GPS location, records it in an immutable blockchain ledger, and triggers instant payment to the mobile wallet. The system builds automated credit scores, opening formal financing access. Well, the innovation, it works on feature phones. It works on feature phones in low connectivity areas and integrates with M-Pesa, which is a local Kenyan mobile money. Over 40,000 farmers are now using Shamba Records across Kenya. Payment time dropped from 90 days to 1 minute. Credit access jumped from 4% to over 40% of farmers qualifying for loans. There is a 40% reduction in certification documentation time. 12 cooperatives use it for export compliance already. In 2025, Shamba Records was selected for Google for Startups Accelerator, AI First, one of 15 African startups chosen, receiving equity-free support and up to $350,000 in crowd credits. Beyond payments, the platform offers farm mapping, market linkage, livestock insurance, weather alerts, and smart contracts for farm leasing. Why it matters? While traditional traceability costs $500 to $2,000 to implement, Shamba Records delivers better results for approximately $5 per month per farmer, please. A 99% cost reduction. For European buyers demanding farm-to-fork transparency, farmers can now provide QR codes showing exactly what and where products originated. You can learn more at shambarecords.com. You will find more details in the description. Let me share three resources that you can use immediately. First, we've created 15-point pre-export readiness checklist covering everything to verify before attempting export. 5 critical points. Number 1, have you tested for pesticide residues, heavy metals, and microbial contamination? Does your label include all mandatory elements? 3, can you prove ingredients origin and processing date? 4, do you have certificates of origin and phytosanitary certificates? 5, have you confirmed your target country's specific requirements? You can download the full checklist still in the description. Second, try our certification cost calculator. Adjust cost components to match your situation and see total investment required compared to your annual profit. Perfect for planning. You can find the link below for that. Third, 3 essential websites. The EU portal shows real-time alerts about rejected data. You can learn more about it as well. The ISO Standards Catalog, which offers free downloads of over 200 African regional standards. Codex Alimentarius, which provides international food standards, MLL, and labeling guidelines. All links are in the description. Reader question time. A listener asks, can I sell to neighboring countries without international certification? The short answer would be yes, but with conditions. Intra-regional trade within ECOWAS, EAC, or SADC has significantly lower barriers than exports to EU or North America. What do you need? National compliance with your country's standards, ASHA standards if they are adopted by your target country, phytosanitary certificates for agricultural products, and certificate of origin and business registration. What you don't need to be able to export your products to your neighbors, well, you don't need FSSC 22,000 unless specific buyer requires it, EU level testing, or expensive international consultants. You don't need all of that. My recommendation would be to crawl, to walk, then to run. Start by selling regionally to build capacity and capital. Use regional revenue to invest in better systems. Scale to international markets once certified and experienced. Regional markets aren't second class, not at all. They are often more profitable per unit with payment in familiar currencies. Many successful support exporters build foundations in Accra, Lagos, Nairobi, and Johannesburg before targeting Paris, London, or New York. That's edition 1 of African Food Industry. Remember, the problem isn't African product quality, it's access to compliance system designed for wealthy corporations, not micro enterprises. Next month, we will explore different facets of building a thriving African food economy. Subscribe to our newsletter at the LinkedIn link in the description. Follow us for monthly insights on standards, innovation, and opportunities. All resources, links, and references are in the description below. Disclaimer: please pay attention. This newsletter provides educational content about food standards and regulation. It is not a substitute for professional, legal, regulatory, or technical advice. Always consult qualified experts and official regulatory bodies for specific compliance guidance. While we strive for accuracy, regulations change frequently. Verify current requirements with relevant authorities before making business decisions. See you next month for the coming edition.